Hi everybody, it's Fatih again and welcome to my Modern Systems Analysis and Design Chapter 12. In this chapter we will learn designing interfaces and dialogues. Okay, let's start with our learning objectives as usual. Explain the process of designing interfaces and dialogues and the deliverables for their creation. Contrast and apply several methods for interacting with the system. List and describe various input devices and discuss usability issues for each in relation to performing different tasks. Describe and apply the general guidelines for designing interfaces and specific guidelines for layout design, structuring data entry fields, providing feedback, and system help. Design human-computer dialogues and understand how dialogue diagram can be used to design dialogues. Design graphical user interface. Discuss guidelines for design of interfaces and dialogues for internet-based electronic commerce systems. Let's start with designing interfaces and dialogues. User-focused activity, prototyping methodology of iteratively collecting information, constructing a prototype, assessing usability, making refinements. Answer the who, what, where, and how questions. Deliverable and outcomes. Creation of a design specification. A typical interface dialog design specification is similar to form design, but includes multiple forms and dialog sequence specifications. Specification includes narrative overview, sample design, testing and usability assessment, dialog sequence. Dialog sequence is the way a user can move from one display to another. Interface. Okay, it's a different part. Interaction methods and devices. An interface. A method by which users interact with an information system. All human-computer interfaces must have an interaction style and use some hardware device or devices for supporting this interaction. Methods of interacting. Command line. Menu, form, object-based, natural language. Command language interaction. A human-computer interaction method whereby user enter explicit statements into a system to invoke operations. Example from MS-DOS. Menu interaction. A human-computer interaction method in which a list of system options is provided and a specific command is invoked by user selection of menu option. Pop-up menu. A menu positioning method that places a menu near the current cursor position. Drop-down menu. A menu positioning method that places the access point of the menu near the top line of the display. Guidelines for menu design. Wording, organization, length, selection, and highlighting with their definitions. Okay. Menu interaction figure you can see and detailed look. Form interaction. A highly intuitive human-computer interaction method whereby data files are formatted in a manner similar to paper-based forms. Allows user to fill in the blanks when working with a system. Object-based interaction. Object-based interaction, a human-computer interaction method in which symbols are used to represent commands or functions. Icons. Graphical pictures that represent specific functions within a system. Natural language interaction. A human-computer interaction method whereby inputs and outputs from a computer-based application are in conventional spoken language such as English, based on research in artificial intelligence. Current implementations are tedious and difficult to work with, not as viewable as other interaction methods. Usability problems with hardware devices. Visual blocking, user fatigue, movement scaling, durability, adequate feedback, speed, pointing accuracy. Usability problems with hardware devices. Okay, now it's a bigger written here for you to see easily. Okay, Now designing interfaces. Forms has several general areas common to most forms: header information, sequence and time-related information, instruction and formatting information, body or data details, totals or data summary, authorization or signatures, comments. Use standard formats similar to paper-based forms and reports. Left to right, top to bottom navigation. Flexibility and consistency. Free movement between fields. No permanent data storage until the user requests. Each key and command assigned to one function. Now you can see our structuring data entry. Entry, defaults, units, and here are written. You can see and read more detailedly. Controlling data input. Objective is reduce data entry errors. Common resource data entry errors in a field: appending, truncating, transcripting, transposing, and so on. Providing feedback. Sorry for interrupt. Providing feedback. 3 types of system feedback: status information, prompting cues, error or warning messages. Providing help. Place yourself in user's place when designing help. Guidelines for designing user help. Simplicity, organize, and show. Designing dialogues. Dialogues, the sequence of interaction between a user and a system. Dialogue design involves designing a dialogue sequence, building a prototype, assessing the usability. Typical dialogue between user and customer information system. Request to view individual customer information. Specify the customer of interest. Select the year-to-date transaction summary display. Review the customer information and leave the system. Dialogue diagramming. A formal method for designing and representing human-computer dialogues using box and line diagrams. 3 sections of the box are used as top, middle, and bottom. Dialogue diagrams depict the sequence, conditional branching, and repetition of dialogues. Building prototypes and assessing usability. Optional activities. Building prototypes displays using a graphical development environment. Graphical interface design issues. Become an expert user of the GUI environment. Okay. Understand how other applications have been designed. Understand standards. Gain an understanding of the available resources and how they can be used. Become familiar with standards for menus and forms. You can see here. Electronic commerce application. Designing interfaces and dialogues for Pine Valley Furniture web store. Central and critical design activity. Where customer interacts with the company. Prototyping design process is most appropriate to design the human interface. Several general design guidelines have emerged. General guidelines. Web's single click-to-act method of loading static hypertext documents. Limited capabilities of most web browsers to support finely grained user interactivity. Limited agreed upon standards for encoding web content and control mechanisms. Lack of maturity of web scripting and programming languages, as well as limitations in commonly used web GUI component libraries. Designing interfaces and dialogues for Pine Valley Furniture. Key feature PVF want for their web store is to incorporate into design was an interface with menu-driven navigation with quickie crumbs. Menu-driven navigation with quickie crumbs. Quickie crumbs, the technique of placing tabs on a web page that show a user where he or she is on a site and where he or she has been. Allow user to navigate to a point previously visited and will assure they are not lost. clearly show users where they have been and how far they gone from home. Now we finished our chapter, as you can see, because we reached the summary part. I hope you learned lots of necessary and important information. If you still have questions, you can send us emails and I will try to back to you. Thanks for watching and listening to me. I hope we'll see each other on the next tutorials. See you later. Have a nice day.